This is Minecraft 5 days to survive. Okay, so first thing that we gotta get done in this is we gotta chop down this tree right here and start on a base and everything. So let's get this tree chopped down, then we are going to make some basic tools and then cut back. Okay, now that everything is finished, we gotta go and find a place to start a base. And when we start this base, this is going to be a simple start one, but I found after a minute of walking, I found a cave sitting here. So I went inside to explore it to see if I could find any iron or anything, but I found some coal with it in it. And then once I made my way out, we went and found this another portal, and then I decided to start my base here. So I started with chopping down some trees to get the wood and started on. I basically got a lot of wood in this section. Started on my base. But yeah, so I did cobblestone layout with a wood frame. And then once I finished this part, there's a lot of trees in the way. Once I finished this part, I laid down the floor with cobblestone so that I could have a finish, and then I went to go get more stone. Okay. And then once I finished getting that stone, I filled in the rest of the floor with cobblestone. Okay, yep. And then I misplaced a couple blocks, but then I fixed them. And this part, so for the actual house layout, I made some wood, and then I basically surrounded the whole thing with wood. And then once I finished that, I decided I want the door on this side. And then I put wood in the corners, but then I filled in those parts. Yeah, like I said, a couple errors, but then I did put those there in the corners like that. And then I ran out of wood, so I had to go get more. And once that was finished, I kept going with it. Put a crafting table down in the corner. Slapped more wood in that spots. And then continue on my build. I made some slabs for the roof. And then when that was finished, I put a door down and decided that I wanted to put a stair right there in front of the door just so it's easier to get up. And then once I finished that, I put some torches around the house, just like so. And then when that was finished, I went and explored the nether portal over here to see what I could find. I was running low on food, but unfortunately the nether portal didn't have any food in it. So I had to go get some food myself. So I went out and decided to go kill some pigs. But first, I put a chest down to store some of my items that I had too much of because my inventory was getting full, but I was running low on hunger, so I had to go out and kill some pigs. And this is the part where I nearly died, so I had to run and try and survive the skeleton on spider. Climbed up the tree and almost killed me. So I had to run and jump down. And then I tried to run back home to safety. And then once I got inside, there was a bunch of creepers and skeletons around, and I was at 1 heart. So I decided to get dirt and block up all the windows so that nothing could kill me. And then on the next day, I got up, checked what time it was, and then decided to go outside, and I decided to get some food, remove some leaves around my house, because they were still everywhere because of the wood on the house was connected with leaves. I was making them stay and not decay. And then I broke all the dirt that was around all my windows, or soon-to-be windows. I accidentally broke a switch, but then put that back. But once I got all that finished, I went out and decided to go. I found a skeleton where I almost died again. I dodged an arrow. That's the only way I survived. And then I went back to my house, ate some more pork chop, and then went out into a cave to get some more stone. And then once I was finished, I went back inside and made a furnace to cook my food. I couldn't find any more coal, but I looked in my chest and I found some. And that was that part. And then there's a creeper to the side that I tried to kill, but then realized I was gonna die, so I kind of just let it explode on right there. And then I went out to go find some sand. And then once I was back with that sand and that sand was in the furnace, I decided to start a little farm, which I needed to do really bad. So I have food. And then, so basically I clear up some leaves here and decided to make a little farm with my 2 seeds. But yeah, after that, I went back inside to check my sand. And thought I was gonna check my sand, and then I ran back out. Then after that, I did go back in the cave to get some coal, because I needed to make some torches really bad. And then, yeah, I went deeper into the cave, and that's when I found some iron, because I was trying to upgrade my tools. My axe was almost broken and everything. And then I was going down here on some iron, fell very far down, and I was at half a heart. And then there was a zombie there that was gonna kill me, and then I spotted a skeleton behind it, which shot me with an arrow. So I jumped down this waterfall, jumped down into this little crevice over here, and then tried to survive there. And then once I got my health up a little bit, I went down there to get that iron, and then I was going back up, and then once I finished that, my game was acting weird, so I was trying to fix it. But yeah, my screen was like going all crazy, and it wouldn't, like, I don't know, it was like motion tracking was going weird. But then in like a couple seconds here, I ended up fixing it by pressing my mouse button right about in a second. But basically, yeah, I got shot by a skeleton, jumped down the waterfall and everything. And then, yeah, once I jumped down the waterfall, I did fall into this little crack, though. I accidentally threw my pickaxe, thinking I was trying to figure out which button to click to fix it, but that didn't really work. So I was kind of just like throwing stuff everywhere, trying to click the right button. I kept clicking the throw button, though. And then I suddenly figured, and then I jumped up, and then I was clicking more buttons, and then I figured it out. It was my mouse button. Okay. And then I was getting out of the cave, and then fell down again, and then suddenly a skeleton jumped down, and it was a near-death moment again. So, my pickaxe was about to break, so I jumped and climbed back up this waterfall right here to try to get to a higher place, and then I was jumping, and I kept missing jumps for some reason. But then I found some iron right in front of my eyes, so I definitely took that. And then, once I was finished getting all that iron, the rest of the waterfall that I used, that I saw that got me down there and up right after I fell all the way down, I met the skeleton and zombie. So, I decided to jump over into that waterfall and climb up it. And then once I was at the top, I ran around for a minute trying to find more resources, and then I ended up getting attacked by the skeleton. So I found a mine shaft, which it was one of the least best mine shafts I've ever been in before, which kind of sucked, but I kept trying to find my way through, and then and I saw that skeleton again. He was chasing me. So when I was running through the mine shaft, I was getting shot by the skeleton, so I ran, and then once I got here, I saw the skeleton over there chasing me, so I hurried up and grabbed a piece of dirt and blocked the way off. So the skeleton couldn't get through. I was trying to see if the skeleton made it to where I was, but no, the skeleton didn't come near. But then I had to dig my way up, and then once I was out there, my glass was done, so I put the glass in the house, and then once that was finished, I started cooking my iron. So, yeah, and then once my iron was all cooked, I decided, well, it's not all cooked, but once it's cooking a little bit and I finished organizing my inventory, I went and checked outside to make sure there's no more mobs. And after that, I waited for the rest of my iron to cook, just like that. And this is the third day. So on the third day, I went and looked outside to make sure there was no mobs out, and then I stood at the door and then went back outside and then looked around at my farm, and then I decided to go back inside and finish my iron tools. But I didn't know if I had any sticks, and I was for some reason trying to use cobblestone and sticks. But then I found some wood planks in there that I made into sticks, and then crafted my iron tools. And then I decided that I was gonna go out and mine trees. And then I decided to go out and mine trees. But yeah, the last day basically mined trees and farmed. But this is the fourth day now, where I got a little bit bigger farm. I decided to expand my house that day, so I used a cobblestone foundation again, and yep, built the whole thing out of cobblestone like this. So once that cobblestone foundation was getting finished up here, I used the same kind of structure for my wood, but first I had to tear down this wall right here. And I was going for the same design with the wooden beam in the middle, so I went up 3 on those 2 corners. And I went and grabbed the wood that I mined yesterday, and then combined the top with that. And then I basically decided that 1 floor wasn't enough, so I added a second floor in. So I went 3 up on all 4 corners on the top, like so. And then I combined all 4 corners, just like this. But before I got the fourth corner, I broke those leaves right there, and then I combined the last corner sides together, and then I decided to I was looking at the thing, and I decided to make wood planks out the logs, and I did the foundation, the wood foundation, same as the bottom floor for the walls. But before I did that fourth wall, I finished the bottom walls like this, and then yeah, a couple mistakes, but I kept going with that. Okay, yep, and then I was building, I was gonna do a normal staircase up, but then I decided why not make slabs and do a spiral staircase up to the second floor. So yeah, I was trying to figure out how to make it. This part was kind of annoying to figure out first, because I was trying to put this into slabs, but it was being difficult. But then I realized I could just put a slab up on that part right there, and put another one, and then break that part. And then I slabbed it the rest of the way, and slabbed off that entire area, except for the part where you need to stand. Just like that. And then kept going all around, and then I ran out of slabs, so I had to craft more. Just like that, so that I could finish slabbing off this roof part right here. And then I messed up a little bit right there, so I got rid of that cobblestone too. And then I broke that slab right there and replaced it with just one slab, like that. And then that was done. And then I decided to put a little building around the spiral staircase. But then after that I decided to put logs on the corners of 3, but I decided to put it in 1. Because I thought the design looked a little bit cooler, instead of just a big square or rectangle box. So I did that, and then I have a window in the middle there, and then I don't have windows on the sides, I just have flat walls. And then I was trying to slab off the whole roof, then I ran out again, so I had to go back downstairs to create more slabs. Then I decided to light up the area a little bit right there. But yeah, then stop getting distracted, and then I put more slabs down to finish the roof. I was trying to figure out how many slabs I needed for this, but then I figured it out. I need about that much. Okay, and then once I finished that little part, I decided to slab off the bigger part instead of doing an actual roof. But once that was done, I went back, I was looking at it, and I went back down and put this, and I was looking at it and everything. I was gonna remove that tree, but I decided not to. And then I went and grabbed the coal and made a bunch of sticks so that I could make a bunch of torches to light the place up. So I got rid of that torch right there. I put two torches there. 2 torches in the middle on each side. And then 2 torches right there. 2 torches on the back walls. And then I really liked how the place was coming, and then I grabbed more glass and I made more panes. I was able to make 39, and then I was debating or not if I had enough, but then I figured out that I did have enough panes for the rest of the house to be finished. And then I misplaced the glass there, which I hate misplacing glass, but I did. And then once that was finished, I went back downstairs and went and put that stuff away. And then I kept going, and I decided to keep putting torches around the outside. But first, I looked around the house to make sure it looked good. But before that, of course, I went further away, looked at it, and actually decided to cut down the tree. Because it was in the way. Okay. And then, once that was done, I went around and looked at what other parts were blocking the tree, and then I decided to put the torches down for around the house, just like that. But the torches were lighting for mobs because Minecraft has an issue with spawning mobs right above where you sleep. So yeah, and then fix that part. And decided to add torches on the bottom floor too. Right there and right there. But basically I thought I broke some things there. And then I decided to break those leaves so that they would actually despawn, so they weren't connected to the house. And then, yeah, once that was done, I went around. I was trying to get that apple. And then once I ate that apple, I went inside. And I went upstairs and just was looking around to see what I could put around the house. And then I ended up going outside, looking at the house a little bit while it was getting dark. And then went back inside the house, went upstairs. Or I was thinking about going upstairs. I went back downstairs. Then decided to just look out the window at the sunset for the rest of the evening of the Minecraft day. But then after that, once that Minecraft day was over in a second, I decided but basically I decided to look at that window instead. But then once that Minecraft day was over and it was the next Minecraft day, I woke up, went outside, and then decided to just go look around. And then I decided to grab a gold block, looking around for more gold, and I decided to make myself a golden. Well, I basically grabbed the gold for armor, and then I was looking around for more gold, everything. But then I went inside to make a gold chest plate. But then I realized after I made this, I didn't enchant a gold chest plate in the chest, which kind of made me angry. But yeah, that happened. And then for the rest of the day, I kind of just like did some more edits around that house and everything. I did more edits around the house, like what time it was. And then once I finished all that, it was already night. And then I looked out the window, just look at the sunset at the end of the nights like I always do. And then, yeah, that's what happened for the rest of the day. But, yeah, and then that was it for the 5 days of Minecraft. That's all I got done in 5 days. Honestly, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more.